I believe is working. And today is August 29th. It's 8 a.m. Central Time, Texas. And first, I want to talk about why I created this. And second, we'll talk about the format. And we'll go from there. So the reason why I created Tech Sales News is I see a huge gap on the industry. One of the challenges for us tech sellers is just kind of navigating through the fast pace, right? There's a lot of information, there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of the markets are shifting, and I believe there is valuable information out there that will be good to know. So I decided, hey, once a week for 1 hour, I'm just going to give some news, what's happening in tech sales, and I can't talk about job search. It's totally cool. It's totally fine. In fact, as a tech sales hacker, I help people get jobs in tech sales. I help people bounce back, hack into tech sales, get better jobs, and all that. But the purpose of the tech sales news is to just talk about the industry, and I believe that that's a good way to provide value to the community, and I'm super excited. So of course I'm gonna use some research. Of course I'm gonna use some chat GPT and everything. But I just want to have a conversation. Let me bring my notes here. Now, if you have questions, I can stop. I don't actually give me a second here. Let me take a look at the chat. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to see the questions. Give me a moment. I'm using this Riverside for the first time here, second time, and I believe there's a way for me to see the questions. I first let me see if it's working. Let me open my LinkedIn. If anybody is listening to this, uh, right now I'm not sure how to see who's listening or not. But as long as I'm live, I'm cool. I can just roll with that. I believe I'm live. Yeah, perfect. Looks like I'm live on LinkedIn. Now the question is, how do I see if anybody has a question so I can stop and answer the question? Can anybody say anything? If you're listening to this right now, can you type anything on the chat? If you're listening on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, I need to figure this out. Mm, hold on. Hold on. No, I'm not 100% sure if it's working. Give me 1 second here. Microphone. Let me go to LinkedIn and see. Give me a second. I need to make sure this is working first before I stop talking. I'm talking for an hour and then I want to make sure it's working. All right, so let me go here. All right, give me a second. Hey, Leonard, you live? Okay, I think you're live. Can you hear me just fine? Can you just give me a thumbs up um in the chat? I see three people here. Please help me out here. Just tell me that's working. That's it. Tell me on the chat that you can hear me, that you can see me, and then I'll just continue. Nobody. Hello, hello. And I think it's working, guys. No? Anybody on the chat? Any comments? Just please tell me. Hey, Davison, it's working. I can hear you. One, two, three. Uh, yeah. Yeah, 1 second here. Actually, I want to do something. Okay. Hey, I'm just gonna assume it's working. All right, everyone. I'm just gonna assume it's working. I'm just gonna talk. Hello. And I'm just gonna roll. All right. So here we go. So if you need specific tech sales advice, like how to hack into tech sales, job search strategies, and all that kind of stuff, you're more than welcome to join my weekly workshop every Friday. Just go to my profile. You're gonna see a link on the feature section. Join, and there's a few people registered for today's later today. This hour right now is just tech sales news. I'm just gonna talk about the industry, and I just don't know if anybody has questions. So what I'm gonna do, um, what I'm going to do, I don't have my phone either. Great. All right. Whatever. Let's just go. All right. So I'm just gonna record everyone. What I'm gonna try to do actually, I'm gonna open another tab here on my LinkedIn profile. If you have any questions, if you want to stop me, if you want to make any observations, just do on the just do on LinkedIn, and I'll take the questions from there. And that's it. All right. Let me just make sure I'm on the right place here, LinkedIn. Okay, I see now. Thank you so much. You can hear me now. All right. All right, thank you. All right, let's go. Now I feel more confident. Okay, man, that was hard. Here's the thing with doing those live shows. I feel a lot of empathy for the people on TV these days because you're just talking to the camera and you have no idea who's watching. You have no idea what people are doing. You have no idea if people have questions. So it's a very, very, very format, and I want to get used to it. I want to get used to it because I created. Um, I believe every single one listening to this right now, everyone needs to build their personal brand, one way or the other, right? You have to find a way to share your voice for people to hear you. It's the only way for you to differentiate yourself from this crazy AI world, right? That you're just gonna get. We're gonna talk about that today. Actually, is the only way for you to stand out is building a personal brand. I'm not saying that everyone needs to do. I started this Davidson GPT. I have seen other people putting their name and putting the GPT on the side. I'm not gonna claim that I started this whole movement, but I believe that everyone have to talk about the things they understand, the way they understand. Everyone is unique. Everyone have a different background. I translate information differently than other people translate information, and I share information different than other people share information. So you're gonna have to find your own way. You're gonna have to find your own um, niche, which I want to talk about that too. You are the niche, right? Don't stop worrying about too much about carving or finding something. Start with you, right? Find the things that you like to do. So again, welcome everyone to Tech Sales Funnels News. Today's program, I want to talk about the latest information, news, relevant content in the tech sales world for professionals. It doesn't matter if you're early career, if you're mid career, if you're a senior executive. The goal is to provide, talk about opportunities on the job market, emerging challenges, tips, ideas, talk about the fast changing role in tech sales, whatever comes to my mind. And I did some research and things that I want to talk about. I just want to dive in. The goal is also be answering your questions. So I can see here on LinkedIn that if you have any questions, I will be able to see. Thanks so much, Leonard, for being here today. Any questions, just drop. But here's some of the trends that I have seen, and I've talked to a lot of people this week. Because I am in this tech sales world, yes, I am doing job search, but I read a lot of information and different news and articles and newsletters and different things. But the tech sales landscape is evolving rapidly. We all know that the AI, the big two-letter words, the AI, artificial intelligence, has become a dominant force. We all know, and it's not only a trend; it's here to stay. So sales organizations are also they're focusing in data-driven strategies, including social and omnichannel challenge challenges, omnichannel selling strategies to personalize training, personalize the post-sales engagement, and to help the buyer to be on a more like an actual self-service mode options, and it's a big trend. So yes, sellers they still have a big say on the whole buying process, but a lot of stuff's being automated. Let's be honest. Like a lot of the initial research, it's easier for buyers to quickly research. It's also easier for sellers to research buyers. So things are changing rapidly, drastically, and sellers have to adapt, right? So I have a little data here. Let me pull. Let me see if I can find. It's very interesting piece of information that I want to share. So 43% of sales pros now use AI. 43% of sales pros they use AI has this has been up 24% since 2023. And by the way, I'm doing all this research I'm going to be talking about here, but also I'm going to be putting the research that I all the information that I found, maybe some sort of a newsletter format or just like a PDF format, and I can actually attach it to the show. And then you can go after the data and realize or better research the things I'm talking about. So, but here's the major trends, and I'm going to talk about each one. AI adoption is exploding. Agentic AI on the rise. At least 7 to 8 touches are needed to reach B2B buyers. Omni-channel news, wins. Sorry, virtual deals are closing. You know, big. Like there's more deals being closed virtually than ever before. Data-driven sales post-sale engagement. Let me talk about a little bit about each one of those. And then first, I'm going to read some data, and then I can dive deep into it. So on AI adoption, I read said has exploded by 43% by sellers, and 47% use the Gen AI tools like ChatGPT, Jasper. I use ChatGPT all day, every day um, for as a job search strategist to help my clients. But sellers are using for emails, scripts, analysis. So as you're preparing for the job search, as you're preparing for the market, make sure you have those tools all on your resume. Like hiring managers, they want to hire sellers who can adapt to AI. Period. They are looking for people who can actually use AI to be more productive. The organizations are probably reducing the number of sellers, and the sellers who are being hired, they need to quickly adapt to AI and how to be more productive. So AI, I'll give an example. AI reps in video avatars can engage prospect automatically. So maybe sellers they're gonna oh, maybe in fact now they are actually sending instead of just sending an email, for example, they're sending videos, right? They're doing the research just like this one, a video like this. So they're gonna be recording a 1, 2, 3 minutes video talking about the research they have made and talking about how they can help the client, right? And how the solution can help. It's a more personalized approach, right? The same on the job search. So think about yourself as a tech seller on the job search. You're a seller. You're selling yourself. So hey, guess what? You're gonna have to personalize those approaches. Maybe your DM is not gonna cut anymore. You know, you're more copy and paste paragraph that you're sending to 100 people, you might have to personalize that. Do a quick research. Use ChatGPT. Get the get your hiring manager or your recruiter, LinkedIn profile, throw on ChatGPT, ask a few questions, try to find out, come up with a 1 minute script on how you can approach that individual. Push play, record, and send. You see the difference? Um, you gotta personalize this process. You gotta humanize the job search. Um, yes, AI is automating a bunch of stuff, but you gotta use your HI, your humanity, intelligence to personalize the outreaches, to personalize your approach. Um, Now, with that said, we move forward here to I want to read through this data here, and then I can break down later. So, 7 to 8 touches are needed to reach B2B buyers. What that even means? So AI has helps you orchestrate personalized multi-touch outreach. So you can, let's say in the past, when I first started tech sales, like about 10 years ago, it was it was inbound texting, right? Inbound DMs, emails, and phone calls, right? Now, a lot of this stuff the chat can be probably automated, like really to the point that you don't even need a human, like literally, like to answer the generic questions that come through the chat, right? So, omnichannel wins. 78% of companies using social selling to outperform others. So the companies who are selling the most, they're using omnichannel. What is an omnichannel? It's the integration of text, audio, video, phone, email, everything integrated. The CRMs are optimized to get all this data, you know, a database of information to help sellers to quickly think on their feet and answer questions. So it's it's a huge trend right now. So yeah, another trend, virtual deals are closing big. So 40% of sellers close half a million dollars plus deals without in-person meetings. So listen to this. 40% of sellers are closing half a million dollars of deals without even being in-person meetings. Yes, COVID kind of completely shifted the whole thing and changed everything. And yes, I started digital selling in tech sales like 10 years ago. Yes, it was all digital, but with COVID, it just things extremely changed um, to the point that the buyer and the seller are pretty much all digital, right? So all the research, all the kind of introductory call, get to know the product, all this stuff is being done rapidly by AI. So buyers are much smarter than before. Sellers are much more informed about the clients. So it's a higher level conversation, right? It's more like almost like a negotiation conversation in sales these days. Now listen to this. Buyers using social are 75% now. That was decided by LinkedIn. Buyers are using social. What that means? 70% of buyers are using social during the buying process. What that even means? What it means, if you're a seller, you better have a social media presence. It better be on LinkedIn. All right. Yeah, Dave. So I want to stay away from this whole, you know, social media thing. It's not about social media. It's about informational media. Just get over the whole social. It's just about information media. If you're not, if you don't have an informational profile, if people cannot find out more information about you, why they should go with you? Why they can just go with AI, right? Or they can just go with another seller who has a better presence online. Look at this, which is very interesting. Social sellers with high SSI score, and I want to dive into this one. It was really cool. I have so much information here. And I know I'm not gonna have 1 hour, but I'm gonna go through this data really fast. So sellers with an SSI score which is a social selling index created by LinkedIn many, many years ago, that before nobody really cared about it. Now it's hot to the point that some people, some organizations, some companies are asking for your SSI score in your resume, in your interview. During my workshop last week, when one of the attendees, for the first time I heard that, everyone, they he was part of this interview process, and during the first interview, the manager, the hiring manager asked, "What is your SSI score?" Now, that can throw off a lot of people, but maybe 9% of the people, because maybe 9% of the people don't even know what that is. And then the other 10% might know what it is, but might not even care about it. But now you should probably care. You should probably put in your resume. My SSI score is, 78% or whatever. Why? Because 45, the ones that have a higher SSI score have a 45% probability of getting more opportunities. So if you're a seller, you better worry about your SSI score. If you're in tech sales, you better check that out. So add in your resume, add in your LinkedIn profile. I should add my SSI score. I'm on the top 1% of 1% of 1% because I'm super active here on LinkedIn, right? I'm always connected with tech sellers, with tech seller industry leaders, recruiters, hiring managers, and I have been watching my SSI score for years, and I knew that was important. Now is why it's so important because it's a piece of data that can actually differentiate yourself from. Let's say there is two players, two candidates, and one has a higher SSI score. That is gonna put yourself, aside. It's gonna be you're gonna come out better, right? It's you gotta find a way to differentiate yourself. So virtual deals are closing bigs, like 40% of sellers, like we talked about. Now, only 21% of buyers prefer cold calls. Only 21%. So there's still room for cold call. Cold calls not bad. There's a lot of people still doing cold calls. I get cold calls almost every single day. I don't pick them up. Honestly, I don't pick up phone calls. I don't use my phone. It distracts me from what I'm doing. And I would rather be in control and call people. If it's important, they leave a message. I'll call them back. I don't pick up cold calls, but cold calls, 20% of buyers they still prefer cold calls. But 50% of reps say video close increase the closing ratio. So 50% of sellers were using sellers were using video, is increasing the closing ratio. Any questions? I'm gonna get rolling here. This is more like a news format, but I can also answer questions, right? So let me let's talk a little bit about the job market and opportunities because that's my role. That's what I live. What I have been spending most of my time. 476,000 open tech roles in early 2025. Yes, a lot of layoffs. Yes, a lot of people are being reshuffled, and organizations are reorganizing. But here's the thing, I don't have a cup here. Is the whole analogy. Let me write this down. Simple. So here there's a cup, right? And some water. Here's a cup with some water, right? So now, is the cup half empty or half full, right? In that analogy, is the cup half empty or half full? Now you tell me. Some people are gonna look to the cup as being half full, and what these people are gonna talk about it? The market. Oh, the market's tough. There's no opportunities. It's a high, which is true. It's true. I'm not gonna lie. It's 50%. I'm gonna say half and half opportunity. Okay, I have to draw this one. So half is gonna look at the market as being full. They're gonna see the problems, the challenges. On the other half are the opportunities. Um, I, as a job search, strategist and high performer uh, coach, high performing tech sellers trying to find better opportunities. I have to focus on the opportunities. I know everyone comes to me, and one of the first things they talk about is the market, but I see so many opportunities against 476,000 open tech sales roles in the early 2005 and rebound after those all those layoffs that was happening, right? Now, there's still layoffs happening, yes, but go online and you see all the job openings already. So here's another job market opportunity. This one's coming from Salesforce. Salesforce is having a hiring search. And I follow a few Salesforce recruiters. They can testify of that. There's 2,000 new AEs to sell AI, which they call agent force. So it was 2,000 openings for new account executives to sell AI. The new agent force um, of Microsoft Salesforce. I'm sorry. So it got 9,000 referrals for those jobs. So they got like 9,000 referrals to fill those jobs. So the demand is massive, right? So there's 9,000 plus applicants, 2,000 roles. I mean, I'm more 9,000 was referred to the role. I'm pretty sure applications probably to even the millions. I don't know, but the demand is massive. There's a massive opportunity. Now there's some hot roles that should be if you're looking for a tech sales role right now. No matter which stage you are in the tech sales journey, there is some really hot roles out there, and I'm going to talk about those right now. One is the AI account executives, of course. Every single AI solution that's being sold, especially on the enterprise level, big corporations, they they are sold by account executives. So AI account executives, cloud. So listen, AI, cloud, cybersecurity, and fintech. Those are the four biggest buckets on the market right now with active opening roles. So if you are actively looking for a tech sales job, focus in learning AI, in learning the cloud, in learning cybersecurity, and fintech. All right. Now, are the other roles, the other industries hiring? Yes, 100%. Um, but those are the biggest areas that you should be concentrating your search. But um, not only your search, but also your certifications, your learning. You know, I would concentrate in AI. You know, because cloud, the whole infrastructure of cloud, how everything works, cybersecurity, fintech, everything is now connected to AI. All solutions now, the new solutions being created are all AI native. Um, so concentrate on the foundation, but it's also important for you to understand how AI is just the tip of the iceberg, right? So how everything underneath AI works, the infrastructure, the systems, um, the platform that actually supports this whole AI revolution, the security, all those things are important to understand. And the fintech industry is one of the hottest ones right now. Now, now for the mid-career and seniors, um, a lot of big tech are actually looking for more mid-career and seniors. They're favoring mid-career and seniors, and why? Right? There's a lot of opportunities for entry level. It has been down by about 50%, the opportunities for entry level hiring since the pre-pandemic. But here's the deal. Um, I'm talking about big tech, okay? They're favoring the mid-career and seniors because of the experience that they have, and you know, there's not much training needed, right? Um, They can ramp up quickly. They already have proven themselves that they have a growth mindset that they can learn things quickly. So yes, they give you preference to being a senior. Does that means that there's no opportunities to grow for you to break into tech sales in a big tech? There is still opportunities, but it's harder. Now there's a lot, hundreds of startups and mid-sized organizations hiring fresh sellers, uh, people who they just need to be a good fit for the organization, and then those organizations are willing to train and do what it takes to get the sellers ready. So there is opportunities for everyone. Many junior roles are being filled by experienced talent people. It's called, it's the experience paradox, and that's just a trend right now. So if you are also mid-career and senior, um, you gotta be a little bit flexible. Let's say if you got laid off, right? If you lost your opportunities and you're a senior mid-career. Now there is a lot of what you would consider early stage opportunity that it's being quickly filled by the most experienced, and you might have to take one step back in order to take two forward. But it's just the nature, it's just the nature of the beast right now. And so you just have to be a little bit flexible on that. But skills, at the end of the day, skills are mm, mm, more valuable than degrees. All right, in tech sales, skills are more valuable than degrees. So if you get a boot camp, if you do certifications, if you can prove that you can learn, and if you're doing, all those free courses and all that kind of stuff, and then you can jump in an interview and show that you can learn, is skills are more important than degrees. Don't get me wrong, I have a bachelor's degree and I have a master's degree, but companies prioritize SaaS, AI fluency, CRM automation experience, and domain expertise more than degrees. So it is what it is. Um, you still go to school, you still get your degree, but if you want to do textiles, you gotta double down on skills, and those skills can be learned, right? There's like it's nothing like out of Mars or out of this Earth that you can always break down the knowledge and just make time to learn. All right, everyone. So I'm gonna shift here a little bit on this show, the Tech Sales Funnels News. Again, this is I'm gonna be bringing the latest information about tech sales. I'm gonna be sharing my experience. I'm going to be answering questions live. I know, like I was thinking about this morning. So when you watch TV, um, that would be funny if the reporter was speaking, giving the news, and you would be able to stop. Maybe in the future, maybe it's gonna be like that. I don't know. Let's say that maybe that's how the TV and the reporters are going to catch up with information social media is by having live reporting and answering live questions. That would be a good one. um but this is what I'm trying to do here right now. So I'm giving the news, but I can stop and answer the questions if you do have one. I don't see anything here on LinkedIn. I'm just following LinkedIn today. I need to figure out a way to see if there is questions from the other social media channels, but I don't see right now. Um, Now, let's talk about the challenges. So we talked about a little bit about major trends in shaping textiles right now. We talked about the job market opportunities, and let's talk a little bit about the challenges in 2025. All right, I want to talk a little bit about the challenges because, yes, I'm super optimistic, and I have to be, and just the nature of who I am. But also there's challenges, and so it just with challenges there's opportunities, right? With otherwise there wouldn't be challenges. Right? It has to be that you have to have the two sides of the coin. Now Of course, everyone is experiencing a economic slowdown. The SaaS revenue growth flat in Q1 2025 has been the weakest rebound ever. Um, and that's I will share the research and the information like I mentioned after this recording. But the economic slowdown has been reported that SaaS software as a service revenue growth has flat in Q1 2025. So a lot of organizations are seeing. So if you see like so how that translates to the job market, right? Companies can only hire. Okay, sometimes like the chicken and the egg. Sometimes they have to hire to increase revenue, but sometimes in order to hire, they have to already be projecting a return so they can reinvest, right? So like, do we hire to increase volume of sales, or are we hiring to reinvest in and continue the growth, right? It's a mix, right? We all know that's a mix. But now, because the growth has been flat, yes, automatically, the hiring in this is general in the industry, the SaaS industry in general, um, is flat. So automatically, um, you gotta find the organizations like Salesforce. To talk about Salesforce, that are actively hiring, actively developing their workforce, right? Now, there's another challenge: the churn up. Existing customers are canceling or downgrading at record levels in 2025. So there's a lot of new solutions, a lot of clients, a lot of demand. Everyone wants to have a little taste of AI, but also a lot of people are downgrading, um, or just using the freemium version. And I'm a perfect example of that. I try different tools and I try different solutions, and and then I start to and I have to think, okay, which one should I keep, which one should I let it go, right? So there's it's you cannot. So this is happening in general with small organizations, with startups, with big tech. There's people are being more uh, selective in the things that they're keeping, and so they're canceling, downgrading a lot of at records level. And there's the other big challenge is the AI disruption, right? So customers are replacing old tools with AI native solutions, but also they're experimenting and churning fast, which it which can be a problem, right? Now, the old legacy tools are also the quickly losing momentum, right? If if a side solution is not AI, based or AI uh, adapted, they're gonna stay behind automatically. So that's a huge disruption. So there's positives and negatives on this whole AI SaaS market. Now, um, another thing that I have seen also when it comes to it's harder to outreach, a little bit harder. It's easier and harder. Let me explain why. So 60% of apps need more touch points to close deals. What that means that you need more, or you need more touch points, or you need more humanity again, or you need to bring to level up your game on your humanity sales skills, so you can shorten that gap and reduce the touch points. Yes, a lot of stuff can be automated, and so the touch points can be done faster and they're increasing, but also um, it's basically people think that they can outsource everything to AI, and it's not like that. It's just not like that. Now, 50% of saying that getting buyer responses is harder. So 50% of sellers, they're also saying that getting buyer responses is harder. And I'll give an example. Like every single day, I get bombarded by people trying to sell me stuff, right? Do I reply to them right away? I can't. Even if I have interest on the solution, just there's so much overload that I have to be more picky, more selective. Now, whoever does the best outreach, whoever does the best messaging, gets more my attention, and that's human behavior. That's normal, right? If someone sent, if the same solution, one sending text, the other send an audio, it's like, whoa, respect the hustle, right? He took the time to do an audio. Now, if the other one does a video, guess who's gonna get a reply first, right? It's just, you gotta step up your game. 71% of buyers say the sales interactions now feel too transactional. What? Why? But 71% of buyers say the sales interactions now feel too transactional. Why they're saying that? Maybe are they just the old, school type of a buyer? No, it's because a lot of stuff is being automated and a lot of stuff is being done digital. And yeah, so naturally, um, to the point that even SaaS organizations are automating the whole thing. Like they don't. I think it's almost impossible. You still have to have this the sales, the human touch, right? So whoever can bring that to the game wins. That's it. At the end of the day, whoever can bring the humanity back to the sales process wins. And it is up to us. It's something that we can control. We can control. Now, another thing that's another challenge in 2025: the layoffs and quotas, and we all know that. So there's layoffs. The layoffs are high, quotas are high. The ones who stay behind need to pick up the slack, quote unquote, and have to be more productive. Have to use AI. So reps are covering larger territories with fewer resources. And guess what happens? If you're a seller listening to this, uh, reps are covering larger territories with fewer resources equals potential burnout risk. There's a high risk of burnout because we're not machines. Now, you can do that to AI. You cannot do that to humans. Um, Humans can only handle so much, right? So what's on the other side of the coin? Organizations, they need to be more aware of training. They have to be more aware of um, yes, they expect the sellers to ramp up quickly and learn all this AI, but the enablement should probably what a lot of organizations were cutting off and reducing enablement, sales training. They have to increase right now because they are almost like dealing like with super sellers, superhumans, super seller humans. I don't know how you want to call, and they need a super seller human treatment and help, right? So it's just it's a challenge. Again, it's a challenge. Easier said than done. But that's the reality. Now there's another challenge for 2025. Huge, huge skills gap. Is that fault of the seller? I don't think so. It's just that the the new things to learn have increased drastically. So sellers must now listen. Sellers, they must. It's not like a suggestion, or if you want to survive, if you want to be a successful tech seller these days, um, if you want to survive, if you want to, you must combine tech acumen and consultative trust building. What that means? You cannot survive if you're not like keeping up with the whole AI learning. You cannot survive it. You will not survive it. Uh, so tech acumen, certifications, right? Now, you maybe before you go by and be okay without certifications, but hey, listen, the more tech acumen you develop, the higher is the probability for you to survive. It's almost like it's not only enough to go to war, you gotta be like special forces. Does that make sense? It's like Training is different. You gotta be like a warrior in order to survive. But at the same time, consultative trust building. There's two big words here. Consultative. It's about the client. It's about providing value. It's about understanding the client needs and solutions. It's not about the product. It's not product selling. It's consultative selling, right? You have to start with the client. Yes, everyone says that, but sometimes it's really hard to do. Yeah, sellers know that because sometimes when there's a product and they need to be pushed out, and sometimes it becomes about the product. It's the true reality here, guys. There's no sugarcoating here. And then, but those will not survive either. So the other word, trust. How do you build trust? Right? There's a book here. The speed of trust. The speed of trust. Just go look. Stephen R. Covey, the son of Stevie Covey. I can't find here right now. The Speed of Trust. Just go read that book. It's super, super cool, super interesting. Man, I need to find it. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. I know it's here somewhere. Some of my books are not here. Uh, anyways, The Speed of Trust. Deals can be done much faster. We all know that in tech sellers when there is trust. And how do you build that trust? Just go read the book. One of the things that you have to do is not only enough to be to have the executive presence, which super random word, so hard to define, but it's just used in corporate so lightly. Um, you know that every seller needs to have an executive presence. Blah blah blah. Sorry. Um, yes, we all know that, but how about a only executive presence? Now you have to have a social presence. But social again, social is not about being the next influencer. It's about informational presence. People need to quickly find out who you are, the things you do, the things you like, and to quickly build that trust, to shorten the gap of trust. And not only for the job search, 100% a must for the job search that I teach my clients that you have to have some sort of a social presence. It will shorten. Is the quickest shortcut for your next biggest opportunity. But guess what? Maybe 9% of the people, like we all know, 1 to 3% or 3% now, I think, I don't know, use LinkedIn to actually publish content. And let's say if you don't publish content, just comment, maybe, or consider um, talking about an article that you read. You don't have to come up as an expert. You can come up as a reporter. I'm just reporting here today. Yes, I have some expertise in technology done for a decade, about a decade in job search. Yes, 20 years, 2 decades. I'm just reporting things that I'm seeing. You can come up as a reporter, you can come up as an expert, or you can come up as a consultant. Just you gotta find your niche. You gotta find your niche, yourself. What's important for you, what's important for you, how you can build trust with other people. Um Now, tech acumen, consultative trust building. Again, go read The Speed of Trust by Stephen R. Covey, and how can you do that? And there is people know, we all know, everyone. People know for the people that people buy for the people that they know, like, and trust. People hiring managers who hire the people that they know. If they don't know you exist in the universe, they're not gonna hire you. So be present. Network. Tell people that you're looking for something. It's not only about the green banner. I hate that green banner. Open to work. It's about talking to people, connecting with people. Um, they need to like you. Okay, if they don't click with you, if you're like, don't bring the energy in the interview process. If you just come to the interview and then there's no human connection, they're not gonna like you. No like, no job. Too bad. No offer. And they need to trust you. The biggest shortcuts, the biggest way for them to trust you is to for you to, you know, talk about the things you like, talk about the things you are doing right now, talk about the clients you're helping. It's a must, everyone. There's no way around. Like, it's just a matter of how fast you're gonna catch up to that. Like, there's no way around. Every seller, listen, and you can write this one down. This is DGPT now, Davidson GPT speaking. You know, the tech sales hacker. You cannot hide behind the camera, or you cannot hide behind your personal brand anymore. Like, they need this that need to come up. Um, it's just not enough to be sending emails and even, you know, now, back in the days, everything was done face to face, right? There was no computers. There's no, you just, you know, face to face. That's how the deals were made, right? Shaking hands. You gotta find a way to shake hands with people um, on this digital world. You gotta find a way to shake people's hands on the digital world, and that's how you're gonna close the deal. So you have to bring, the humanity to the process. On the sales process, on the hiring process, you gotta shake hands. Uh, you gotta exchange energy, right? People need to trust you. So there's different ways, different things you can do. Anyways, I'm really passionate about stuff because that's how I try to help people. Now the biggest takeaway. So we have about 10 minutes left. Again, this is tech sales news. Every week I'm gonna be bringing the latest, the greatest tips, tricks, and strategies, news, trends, whatever I see during the week. I'll talk about. I'll save. I'll share. Um, whatever if I don't, if I, the whole week is past, I'll look at ChatGPT. I'll find out. I'll find information and I'll share. I want to bring value. I want to help the community of tech sellers to know what's going on in the tech sales world. Now I'm gonna do some tips here and then takeaways from the day, the last 10 minutes, so you can remember. So if you're listening for this, just the last minutes, I don't know who's listening to this right now. Maybe you can give a thumbs up. Maybe you can tell. You know, I think there's an option here for me to celebrate. There you go. Is this LinkedIn? I think so. So if you're listening to this on LinkedIn, there's options. You can thumbs up, whatever. Like, write down a big takeaway that you have from this session here. But here's my seven, to summarize here, the seven biggest takeaways from this session today. From this is the first one, by the way. AI is your co-pilot. Again, AI is your co-pilot. Use it, but edit, personalize. Don't think it's going to substitute you. You think about an airplane. There's a pilot and a co-pilot, and there is also the self-driven, you know, automated flight. The pilots, you need to be there. There's not only the co-pilot, there's the pilot. You are the pilot. Take control. AI can help you. Use it. Personalize it. Yesterday, my son, he was like, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about this essay?" I was like, "ChatGPT." I was like, and he was like, I was like, I was like, "Hey, everything was done by ChatGPT." Like, maybe I'm put him under the bus here. No, he was like, he had to do some research. That was good. And actually, I was like, you gotta put some effort, man. Like, I know use AI, but you gotta put some effort. And he took the time to review every line, paragraph, and then he fixed it. But I was like, hey, let's use it. I was like, are you studying this stuff? Have you read some of the stuff? If you have not read or studied it, it was not mentioned in school or in a book that you read, don't put it over there because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So be original, use AI to your benefit. Now, number two, personalization wins. Again, buyers buyers 89% more likely to engage when you understand their goals. Buyers are 89% more likely to engage when you understand their goals. So personalization always wins. Number three, master virtual and video edit and selling. Big deals are closing. They're being closed online. We talked about that earlier. Um, there's no, yeah, it's like, uh, it is digital. We live in a digital world. The big deals are being closed online, but you have to master the virtual and video selling. So colleges out there, schools, universities, catch up. I have a de- I have a degree in communications. One of my classes, it was a public speaking class. And in fact, that was like somewhat mandatory to almost all degrees because a lot of people needed to get exposed to that public speaking experience. But guess what? Public speaking, mandatory. All colleges, mandated by Daveson GPT. Video editing, social branding, information on social selling, mandatory. Hey guys, no matter what you do, even if you're not in tech sales, you're selling. Again, it doesn't matter if you're in tech sales or not, you're selling. So everyone should develop the skill of sharing their thoughts. Yes, yes, you do have accent. Some yes, English is not my first language. Who cares? I don't care. I am just trying to bring value to the community. I'm just trying to help, and I'm super passionate about it. I want to give back. I want to help, and this is my way to do it. Find your way. Like it might be cringy, it might be hard, it might be uncomfortable. I'm talking to the camera here right now. I have no idea who's listening. I have no idea who's listening this in a week from now, or who's gonna be listening to this in 2 weeks from now on YouTube, or who's gonna be listening to this, you know, later tonight on Facebook. I don't know, but it might help. It will help someone. Now, number four, align to growth sectors. Growth sectors. Follow the trends. Follow the trends. AI. Yes, that's super obvious. Cybersecurity and cloud. Those are the three buckets. Industry, we talked about earlier. Fintech. There's all the industries that we can talk about. Healthcare. There's about all the industries that are hot, but align to growth sectors. AI, cyber, and cloud. Five, continuous learning. Upskill your SaaS AI tools and consultative skills. Upscale them. Continue to learn. Number six, pipeline discipline and resilience. It's harder to qualify, but persistency, hours through the long sales cycles, build the relationships. Um, that's all things that can help tech sellers to be successful. My goal, it's not to I'm not here to make there's a lot of amazing sales coaches out there on LinkedIn here that teach people how to make $500,000, $1 million. I can share some skills and tips and strategies to help you with that. My goal is to just bring the trends, uh, talk about the market, the tech sales market, because a lot of people want to blame the market, but the market also has a lot of opportunities. And at the end of the day, everyone, if you forget everything that I just said today, everything, if you forget everything, if you are looking for opportunities, I just talked to someone yesterday, and Daveson, she came to my workshop like 2 weeks ago, and she's like, Daveson, she just messaged me yesterday. I have an offer. I didn't have to do one interview. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, she made a list of 100. She wasn't even 100 people, 75 people, she said, and she went through 20, and out of those 20, she got an introduction, and she got an interview. Oh, she did interview. She didn't have to apply. She did interview a couple of times. She got an offer. Now, that's a masterclass right there, right? Of networking referrals. Still the number one way to land jobs. Again, Salesforce. At the beginning of this call, they had like 20,000. No, they were hiring. What is it? I forgot the number here now. 2,000 new account executives this year. 90,000. They received 9,000 referrals on their referral system. 9,000 for those 2,000. Guess what? Maybe like a million applications. Guess who's gonna get the interviews? Who's gonna get the offers for Salesforce? The ones who got referred. That's priority. That's part of their process. So learn. Every organization has a different process. especially the big techs. So you gotta learn. Like I like this is strategy, everyone. Find your way. You have to find a way. Now I have to close. That's exciting. I got other coaching and other things to do. If you want a more personalized um, help with your job search, you gotta join my workshop. It's 1 hour every week, every Friday. I'm trying to do every Friday in 2 hours for now. I'm gonna have a private session, and there's every week I can only do 10 because I want to make it very exclusive. And there I can answer all your job search, burning questions. Here I'm gonna be giving this reporting, um, talk about trends and shifts, job market news, cover challenges, and then the things that I'm seeing, boots on the ground. So if you want to find out about boots on the ground, job search, tech sales, I'm your guy, Davison da Silva, the Tech Sales Hacker. Thanks so much for joining today. See you next week.